Why does an unoccupied house completely collapse and become unrecognizable in just 2 or 3 years? The old generation says it loses its vital energy, but physics tells you this is because the universe is eating away at order. As long as people live there, you sweep the floor, repair the tiles, and close the windows. Your actions are essentially inputting energy to combat chaos. The master physicist Schrödinger said, "Life feeds on negative entropy." You are a energy entropy machine, forcibly maintaining the world's order. Once you leave, the monster named entropy increase immediately takes over. Dust piles up, beams rot, plaster peels. This is how the universe is supposed to be. Zoom out, and our universe is a super vacant house destined to be empty. Stars are its light bulbs, gravity its beams, but the bulbs will run out, the beams will collapse, and the universe will eventually become a stagnant pool of dead water. This is heat death. But the true despair and hope are hidden on this road to stillness. In 1865, German physicist Clausius discovered the universe's most fundamental flaw, naming it entropy. If you ask Einstein what law is unshakable, he'd tell you it's not relativity, not quantum mechanics, but the law of entropy increase. This is a curse of irreversibility. In a closed system, heat always flows unilaterally, and things always fall from order to disorder. Just like your shattered cup cannot spontaneously mend, and wrinkled paper cannot automatically flatten, the arrow of time is cruelly locked in direction by this law. But the most terrifying thing about this law is not destruction, but probability. In 1887, Boltzmann unveiled the microscopic side of entropy. What is the probability that all the air molecules in your room shrink to one corner? The calculation result is $10 carat, -10 carat, $38. Although this probability is not zero, on a macroscopic scale it's almost impossible. The state of disorder occurs simply because the number of ways to arrange things chaotically vastly exceeds the ways to arrange them orderly. Entropy increase is not the universe actively trying to destroy you. It is simply because destruction is infinitely easier than existence. In such a guaranteed losing gamble, the birth of life is a miraculous cheat. In 1943, Schrödinger pinpointed the secret in his work. Such a highly ordered structure as life should not exist. The reason we are alive, can think, and can watch this video is that we are frantically plundering negative entropy from the outside world. Every bite of food you eat, every breath of oxygen you take, is essentially not about acquiring matter, but about acquiring order. We are like precise energy processing factories, continuously extracting order from the environment to repair the decay of our cells, maintain a constant body temperature, and fight the natural law that seeks to turn us into a pile of dust. But this is not just feeding, it is a tragic energy line. To maintain your low entropy state of a few dozen kilograms, you must emit more high entropy waste into the environment. Think of an air conditioner. While it cools the room, the outdoor unit madly vents waste heat into the street, increasing the total entropy of the entire city. Life is the same. Through eating, drinking, and excreting, we convert low-energy photons into high-energy waste heat. We achieve entropy reduction locally but accelerate the entropy increase of the entire universe. It can even be said that the birth of life is the most efficient catalyst the universe created to accelerate its own destruction. This source of order is simply because we have a sun above us. The sun is not merely an energy ball. It is an extremely stable, low-entropy current. The Earth greedily sucks this low-entropy energy from the sun, nurturing forests, oceans, and civilization, but the sun too will eventually die. About 5 billion years from now, the hydrogen in the sun will run out, the core will collapse, and the outer layer will swell into a red giant. The sun will then be like a hungry giant beast, swallowing Mercury, Venus, and licking the carcass of Earth. Oceans will evaporate in minutes, rocks will melt into magma, and humanity's home will be utterly vaporized. But this is just the prelude to the universe's funeral. 10 billion years later, the sun will turn into a silent white dwarf, finally cooling into a black dwarf, a cosmic tombstone. As time progresses, the stars in the night sky will turn off one by one. About $10 carat, $14 years later, the last star will also extinguish, and the universe will plunge into eternal darkness. You think darkness is the end? No, a more complete destruction is yet to come. Matter itself will decay. The proton, one of the most basic particles that make up your body, has a lifespan of about 10 carat, 34 years. This means that even the hardest diamond, given enough time, will slowly melt into the most basic radiation, like an ice cube. 10 carat, 40 years later, all matter will decay into photons and leptons. Glorious galaxies, planets, and life will all turn into a uniform particle mist. But there is a final watchman, the black hole. People once thought black holes were the end of entropy, swallowing everything. Until 1972, Einstein boldly proposed that black holes also have temperature and entropy. 3 years later, Hawking confirmed this and discovered that black holes evaporate. According to the uncertainty principle of quantum mechanics, particle-antiparticle pairs are spontaneously generated in a vacuum. If this happens at the black hole's edge, one falls into the abyss, and the other escapes, carrying a tiny bit of the black hole's mass. This process is despairingly slow, measured in trillions of years, but eventually, even the black hole will vanish. At that point, the universe reaches true heat death. All matter achieves thermal equilibrium. There is no more heat flow, no more events, and time loses its scale. A second and a billion years are no longer distinguishable. This is not an explosion or collapse. It is something worse than death, oblivion. The universe will forget that it once burned, forget that it once nurtured life, forget everything. Hearing this, many feel suffocated. If the ending is nothingness, what is the meaning of everything we do now? Don't despair. Poincaré left a backdoor at the end of mathematics. The French mathematician Poincaré proposed that in a closed, finite system, given enough time, all particles will eventually return to their initial positions. This is the Poincaré recurrence. Imagine the universe as a giant box, with a finite number of atoms, about 10 carat, 82 $. Given infinite time, these atoms will randomly combine and eventually reform the way they are now. Researchers at the University of Vienna confirmed this phenomenon in a quantum system in 2018. This means everything you have experienced, your current confusion, the people you have loved, the mistakes you have made, may have happened countless times in the distant past and will be replayed again in the far future. The universe may not be a straight line to death but a gigantic, eternal cycle. But this is not the lament of fatalism. It is the highest praise for the present moment. If the universe is destined for heat death or recurrence, then meaning is not in the end, but in the process. High entropy means eternal disorder, low entropy means primal simplicity, and only in this brief moment of falling from low entropy to high entropy, in the instant before the spilled water is entirely irretrievable, can structure, life, consciousness, and civilization be born. We are like milk poured into hot tea. Existing alone is nothing special, but in the moment of mixing, beautiful cloud patterns bloom. Low entropy is fleeting, high entropy is eternal, and this transient complexity in between is the universe's most magnificent poem. Have you ever wondered why the universe didn't start in a state of heat death? In 2004, Oxford physicist Roger Penrose calculated the probability of the universe's initial state as 10 carat, 123 $. This number is so small that the probability of a monkey randomly typing the complete works of Shakespeare is like a $100% certainty event compared to this number. In other words, the existence of our universe is itself a miracle that shouldn't have happened. And you are a miracle within a miracle. Every carbon atom in your body once burned in the core of a star. The iron in your blood comes from a supernova explosion billions of years ago. In this billion-year desolate stretch, you, as an anti-entropic body, can open your eyes and see the world, feel the warmth of the sun, and comprehend the concept of entropy. This is a small probability within a small probability. Nietzsche, after gazing into this void, gave his answer, amor fati, love of fate. Not acceptance of fate, but loving fate, including all its pain and absurdity. If you were asked to live your life over again, experiencing the same joys and pains, the same successes and failures, the same meetings and farewells, would you agree? If the answer is yes, you have conquered the void. Parents gave us life, lovers gave us hope. These are the weapons against the void. We cannot change the final trajectory toward destruction, but we can, in this brief moment of descent, burn with the brightest light. Though we are like ants, we must aspire to the ambition of swans. Though our fate is thin as paper, we should possess an unyielding spirit. Even if the universe eventually extinguishes, at least at this moment, we are shining.